What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, I'll be answering some more of your beginners fabric questions. Specifically, these are questions that you may be a little bit embarrassed to ask. You may think that the answers are quite obvious, but I've been in your shoes before and I understand what it feels to have some of these questions looming large in your mind. So I'll be pulling in from my experience as a fashion designer working in the field over the last 5 years, and I'll be answering some of these questions and we'll be covering a bunch of different topics. Basically, why some fibers are more absorbent than others, how some fabrics prevent fading better than others, and essentially how you can clean waterproof fabrics. So if you've ever been interested in learning the questions or the answers to any of these questions, tune into this episode. You guys are in for a good one. What's up, design family, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Starting off strong, let's look at why some fibers are more absorbent than others. Really, both the fiber type and the construction used are going to have a huge impact on the absorbency of a specific fabric. Specifically, fabrics that are made from plant and animal fibers, aka natural fibers or semi-synthetic fibers, are going to absorb a lot more liquid than something that is made from a synthetic source, predominantly because synthetic source fibers are going to be a lot more hydrophobic. At the same time, sometimes the weave construction, so the type of construction used to create the fabric, is going to have some impact on the level of absorbency that you see. Something like a plain weave is going to be a lot less water repellent than something that's a bit more heavy duty, like a twill weave. So in general, although the weave and the construction type does have an impact on the absorbency of a fiber, it's specifically where that fiber is sourced from. Is it a natural or is it a synthetic fiber that has the larger impact in terms of the absorbency and the water performance of a fabric? Number 2 on our list is what makes a fiber or a fabric more elastic. Well, in general, you need to bear in mind 2 things when it comes to fabric elasticity. Number 1 is going to be the fiber type used, and 2 is going to be the type of construction used. In general, the most elastic types of fabrics are going to be those that are made out of actual knitted fabric, so they're knitted as opposed to woven, and then those that also contain spandex. So something like a polyester spandex that's done in a single jersey or a double jersey knit is going to be a lot more elastic than something that is made out of a 100% cotton twill weave construction. Number 3 is, are there any ways to prevent color fading? Well, this all comes down to how you're actually caring for that fabric. Correctly washing and drying your garments is going to go a long way towards actually preventing colors from fading from that garment. Some easy methods that you can implement today are: consider turning your clothes inside out when you're hand washing them, and it's also important to use suitable detergents that are not as harsh on the colors. They don't sort of take away the pigment as readily. And then also always make sure to follow closely the care instructions that are listed on the label, typically found on the left hip or the center rear waistband of a garment. Number 4, this may seem a little bit like an oxymoron or a paradox, but how can waterproof fabrics actually be washed and cared for? Well, this depends on the care level, but most waterproof garments can actually be machine washed. Also, some other options that you can definitely look into are using a specific cleaner that's made specifically for waterproof garments. You can even try dry cleaning. A great option as well is to use alkaline-free detergents that do a great job at actually cleaning waterproof fabrics. Last on the list is, what are the key differences between real leather and faux leather? And we've done a separate video on this in the past where we've gone a lot more in depth, so I highly recommend you check out the video. Check the link in the description. But in general, real leather are going to be made out of natural hides that we source from sheep, cow, cattle, so on and so forth, versus something like faux leather, which is actually made from a plastic base that's essentially treated with wax on the surface. Also, when it comes to the physical characteristics, the texture of real leather is going to be a lot more unique and a lot more durable, and typically real leather will develop a beautiful patina over time as it becomes more worn in. Versus faux leather, you have something that's a bit more man-made, machine-made, looks a lot more uniform and less interesting. And there's really a lot less natural characteristics towards the look and the shine of the fabric. Also, faux leather has a tendency to be worn in a lot more easily than something like a real leather, which actually takes a more holistic and more mature look over time. Also, you can bear in mind the differences between both by doing a burn test. Usually, you're going to easily be able to burn faux leather because it's made out of plastic and it's going to smell when it burns, versus leather or natural leather, which is going to have a lot more of a sort of natural scent to it, which you can easily tell when you're burning real leather. These are going to be the key characteristics, but then again, definitely check the episode. We've gone a lot more in depth. I've given you my foolproof tips, whether you're looking to implement faux leather into a collection or you're a consumer looking to tell the difference between real and fake leather, to know if something is worth investing your time in. So definitely check the link in the description. Well guys, that is it. That is the last episode in this mini series of us answering beginners' questions on all things fabrics. Hopefully you've learned a ton throughout this series. If you think I've missed out on any key questions, definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them when I can. Guys, just to recap, we covered a bunch of different topics today. We looked at what makes fibers more or less elastic. We looked at which types of waterproof fabrics can be cleaned, and we looked at how to tell the key differences between faux and real leather. If you guys learned a thing or two, please definitely consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It really does help us out, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to hop on a one-on-one consultation call with me and you're looking to set up your own fashion business, or you have a growing fashion business that you're experiencing issues with and you want some tailored help and tailored insights to help you overcome these challenges, definitely check the link in the description. You can book a call with us. Slots are limited, so definitely make sure to check it out. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.